Hey, good morning guys. Today I want to repot this aloe vera. She's gotten super top heavy. She's in a tiny pot. You can see it's completely root bound. It's actually bending the plastic already. So what I want to do is give her a bigger pot with fresh soil. Then once that's done, I'm going to place the plastic pot into this heavy ceramic pot as a cache pot. Now, I've had these caladiums drying in the garage, but they haven't finished the drying process. So I'm going to dig those out and just put those back in the garage. And then I do need to wash this pot out. I had it standing in the flower bed, so it's a bit grubby. So that'll be a quick project. Then this euphorbia sticks on fire. I need to bring this in for the winter. It's gotten so big, so I'm not going to repot this one. I don't want to encourage it to grow bigger. I think I'm just going to submerge the existing pot into this heavy terracotta pot. And I'm hoping that'll just raise up the branches that are splaying. If not, I'll cut it back because I don't want this plant growing wider, just taller. So I might stake it. I'm not sure. I'm going to work on the euphorbia. Of course, I am going to be using these kitchen gloves because the sap of the euphorbia is pretty toxic and it can irritate your skin. I need to dig out my Burro's tail babies. I think I'm going to save all of them. I'll put them into cups, maybe 4 or 5 in a cup, because I think I'll use these as the spillers in my concrete wall urns next year. Let me show you. Got these 2 concrete urns. Let me just lift this up and show you. So I think I'm going to surround the concrete urns with the Burro's tail next year as the spiller. And then I do want to get away from this mushroom look. So I need to be mindful about what I plant in here next year. It's still looking quite pretty. I'm leaving these plants up for the pollinators. And then I'm just going to let the frost take care of it. Once they're completely dead, I'll dig it out. I might keep one of these string of bananas. I think I'm going to keep the one on this side. It's amazing, when I planted these in May, they were tiny little propagations. And then now 6 months later, look how huge these are. It's crazy. So I think I'll keep this one. I'll bring that in and then I'll let the rest succumb to the weather. Now on this side, I've got a geranium that I'm not going to keep. I grew that from seed. And I'm also not going to keep this Calissia repens hanging basket. I might take a few cuttings of a different one. So let me just pan you around slowly. I have this one here. I like this one's look more. It's not as tightly grown as the other one. I might bring this basket in, just see how it looks over the winter, but this will be the one that I propagate all my cuttings from for next year. Then I've got this fuchsia that I want to propagate. I still need to bring all these plants in. I've got a Peperomia Hope on that side and a Decidia. I actually have a cutting that I made that I should just plant back in here. Oops. Yeah, I need to bring this inside. I've got another fuchsia down here that I want to take a few cuttings from. In my back garden where my compost bin is, I've got a number of fuchsias in there that I want to try and overwinter. Just a few cuttings. Okay, let me get started. So this is where I've placed the aloe vera. Now this is a north facing window, so this might not be sufficient light. If not, I can either provide a grow light or move her. I'll just monitor her. I do love the structure she provides. It's so beautiful. Okay, that didn't help at all. Okay, I've chopped a whole bunch of the sticks on fire. Is that what it's called, fire sticks? So it looks a lot better. I prefer it to be just taller and more in control. I'm not sure if you're supposed to cut these or not. You can see they're all bleeding with the sap. And if it does grow out of control because I cut it back, then I'll just restart with a small tip cutting. So this actually started last year. I got one little cutting like this from a friend of mine, and this is how it's grown. This could be 2 years though, 2 years growth. So they grow extremely quickly. And yeah, so I'm going to quickly get rid of all the cut bits and just wash the patio off with my hose pipe. I think I'm also going to just flush the pot and all the white sap that's everywhere, and then I'm going to let that dry down and bring that into the basement grow room. Now this is where I've placed the fire sticks, in the back corner of my boiler room. I did put a halo grow light overhead. I just want to see if I can get her to color up for me over the winter. Now I do need to raise the pot because I've got a couple of fans blowing in this room and I'd like for her to get more airflow. And yeah, I think that's going to be a really nice spot for her. And I must say, I think I love the terracotta color pot with the fire sticks. I think it's a good combo. Okay, I just want to separate out these 3 string of pulls. Now these have completely rooted in. You can see I can barely pull this up anymore. So I'm just going to go ahead. I don't want to keep the fluff on the edges. I'm going to let it start trailing on its own. So let me first just cut through here. Let's go from here. Whoops, I'm in the pot. There we go. Okay, I'm going to clean that pot up now. And then this one, there we go. So now I've got the 3 pots. I can see some of the strands that didn't root. Like this one, I'm going to leave it though. Actually, this one I'm going to clip out. The rest I'm going to leave. These side bits that I just chopped, I'm going to trail them back into the pot. Let me just knock this bloom off. This piece is a bit thick. I might cut that. Just snip this off. I just want to tuck everything in and then it will start trailing on its own. I don't want to have have little strands going yet. I wanted to first root in properly. This piece is dead. This piece here looks a bit, I mean, it's rooted in. I think I'm just going to snip it off. And then I can see this piece here doesn't look good. Let me just snip. Okay, so that's the one bowl. Okay, this is the OG plant. I think I'm going to cut this bit off because I won't be able to tuck that in anywhere. And it's pretty full on the top. So I'm going to snip that off. and then just tuck all the ends in. Now I am going to dust some systemic on these. I'm just going to do it over top and then bounce the pot so that it gets to the soil. It's actually falling all the way through. I'm just going to put a nice dose of the systemic. Ah, there's a dead piece. Let me take that out. There. Okay, these are done. I'm going to give them a light watering just to get the systemic to sink down to the roots a bit. That should do it. I think tomorrow I'm going to spray an application of 7 right over the top and through, just in case. I just don't want to bring mealybugs in this year. In terms of watering them indoors, it's pretty easy to tell. You can see when they're thirsty, or you can do the squeeze test. If you squeeze on the pearls, like you can take just a few around the top and you'll feel if they're thirsty or not. And you can see when they're thirsty. It's very visible. I mean, you can see the little windows on the hydrated ones, and they're super firm. Whereas this one here, you can see it's even gone off color, and the little pearls are so squishy. I don't like taking mine to this level. I try not to stress mine as much as that, but they wouldn't die. They would absolutely be fine. So yeah, I'm going to bring these in by the end of the week and just pop them under grow lights. Okay, then finally I'm going to dig out all these little burrows tails and pop them into these tiny little cups. And the reason why I like putting them in here, it's just an easy way to water them and to move them around. So I've got some succulent soil. I'm just going to fill into these cups, and then I am going to add a sprinkle of Osmocote and some systemic. Another thing I'm going to do is fill up a bucket with isopropyl alcohol. Just pour it in there. And then I've got another bucket to catch them in after dipping, and then just a trash bucket. So I'm just going to make a cut. Just dunk the whole stem into isopropyl. And then I'm going to take some needles off, make a fresh cut, and then I'm just going to push them in to the soil. I might use my kebab skewer because it gets in better. Let me just do that actually. Might be too long as well. Let's see. No, that's perfect. And then I might do another small piece. And maybe another one in there. Maybe I'll choose one of these little ones. No, I want a bigger one. I've got so much to work with, so I can be picky. that. There, so cute. Okay, so the little cut ends that I want to keep are potted up. I'm going to take those into the basement grow room. Then this is what I'm left with. It's amazing, when I potted the little cuttings up in the spring, they were about so big, also fresh cut pieces. And within 6 short months, they're so thick and healthy and beautiful. It's amazing how these guys love to be outside in the full sun. Now, I don't need these. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep them. I know I'm not keeping all these tiny pieces here. This I'll probably trash. What I'm going to do is clean out the basement grow room and just see if I can squeeze another tray in, because I've got quite a space limitation. If I can, I'll do another tray off camera. If not, I'm just going to let these go. Okay, I've brought the little Burro style cuttings inside. Now, I'm not going to water these for at least 2 weeks, so they will decline and get like a stress color. But once they get roots, they bounce back super quickly. And I think for the next few days, I need to start sorting out this grow room. I've just dumped everything. I've got a bunch of succulents in here that should be in the room next door. I need to start just organizing. I've still got a lot of stuff I need to bring in and take cuttings from. So I think I'm going to get on that, and I will post a video showing the process. But if you've stuck around this long, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.